Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to the Headmaster's Homeroom, the Reset Kitchen. You guys, my name is Lady Hamilton. I'm so excited to have you guys all here tonight. I know I have a special guest in the audience. I had to twist some arms to get him here. So, everyone, welcome my sweet, sweet son in the chat. So excited. I don't know how long he'll stay, but he just wanted to come give his mom some love tonight. So, you guys, make sure he feels welcome. Hello to all of our wonderful friends over there on Rumble. So nice to have you guys, and thank you for joining us here this wonderful evening. I see many of you guys here tonight. Hey, Frosty, Cass, Mabel, JJ, of course, and of course, my wonderful son. You guys, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Hello to all of our viewers on Pills. Nice to see you guys. Hello to everyone over there on X, and hello to all of our YouTube viewers as well. So nice to see everybody. So nice to see everybody here tonight. I hope you guys are hungry and brought your appetites. Hey, everybody, do me a favor. We got a little bit of homework for you. Please share the word. I put out promos all the time. I see you guys sharing promos out there. Let's do mine, right? Let's get more people to join this wonderful show. And I have 5 different shows that we do here, from anywhere from health to healing to arts and music nights to our wonderful cooking shows and our world news, all Thursday through Monday at 7 p.m. You guys do me a favor and help share out those promos. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. All right. So tonight we have some great treats coming your way. We are going to be doing some wonderful videos on chicken cacciatore and our amazing Piña Colada Cheesecake. And then for the second half, I have an amazing surprise for everybody, a wonderful interview that we are going to toss up for you guys to enjoy. If you did not see this first episode where it was played, what in the world does Lady Hamilton do? I thought you guys could really enjoy that, especially all my new viewers. Get a little glimpse and taste of life into the wonderful world of Lady Hamilton. So let's make everybody hungry. I hope everybody brought a snack. Our first video up here today is Chicken Cacciatore. So everybody enjoy, take some notes, and I hope you guys try this at home. If you have any questions, I'll be in the chats with you. All right, everybody, enjoy.
All right, everyone. Tonight we are making chicken cacciatore, which is kind of like a mixture of a marinara and a chicken stew, or combining both, right? Making a really wonderful tomato sauce with wonderful chicken and different vegetables. So we're going to put it in our pressure cooker. We absolutely love having one of these little time pressure cooker, and that's going to really make it a really fast thing for us. All right, so let's start. We're going to start with some wonderful diced onions here. We've got some broccoli we're going to add, our canned tomato paste here. I'm also going to be using a shallot and some wonderful garlic. And you guys, that wonderful tomato, that canned tomatoes that I just did, and I just pureed that and turned it to an amazing tomato sauce. So let's get started. All right. So I'm going to save those from some of these for the mashed potatoes, because that's how we're going to serve it. So we're going to just quickly dice up our onion here. Like that. So I'm trying to steak. Everything goes right into our pot here. Garlic. Trying to remove the garlic over. I want to definitely mince that up. Everyone, if you have never had shallots before, I highly recommend them. It's absolutely a mixture between onions and garlic. It's in that family, but just a really good blend of onion and garlic. Really awesome. I don't know if you guys ever had that. I highly recommend it, like I said. So we little slippery here. Just kind of peel that on. Dice these up. Your shell is slimy. All right, let's try it this way. Okay. Dicing these up. And adds really great flavor to our wonderful stew. Like that. We're going to take some garlic Getting some of that for our wonderful mashed potatoes. I'm going to dice this up. A couple cloves of garlic in here. And piece some up. We don't want that. Mixing that up. Alrighty. I love this broccoli. This kind of broccoli, and it's called broccoli, like broccoli teeny. They say it's a mixture of like asparagus and broccoli. You see how long the stems are here? They go really long stems, but it's just a much sweeter variety. So you guys can grab that. I highly recommend you guys giving that a try. We're just going to chop this up. We love broccoli in the house. That stands. Here, there's some broccoli in here. I might not use all. Love growing fresh vegetables or getting it from your local. Gonna add a nice flavor to this as well. All right. We've had such an abundance of peppers in this area, house, that I freeze them. I roast them and I freeze them and I vacuum seal them, and it's really awesome. So that when you need them, you can just open them up. Which we do tonight because this recipe calls for peppers, yellow, green, you name it. Throw that in there. So we're going to open up our little package here. Love having a vacuum sealer, everyone. Really awesome. Really helps you. You can always can them and store them. This is a great way to keep things frozen. And yeah, there's not another way I can think about having this without, of course, plastic. But you guys, it sure does save me on vegetables all year. You know, being able to preserve them. Because I am not a huge fan of canned vegetables. I think they get too mushy unless I'm doing like potatoes, which I do can. But I do this so I can have frozen vegetables, and yeah, I know they are a little mushy themselves, but I already roast these peppers before I even put them in there in case I want to do something like put them with oil. But we are just going to dice up the 2 large peppers here, or 3 small ones, right? A variety of red and green. I'm going to put those right in here. Our wonderful pot. All righty. Go rinse this off. I'll be right back. It take very long, but we are back. All right. Now, potatoes are boiling. We are going to make our sauce now. Like I said, I took the rest of the batch of tomatoes I had and I pureed them so I had some tomato sauce on hand. Whether you want to make a tomato soup or actually probably can some of these, like they did a lot of these in pint jars, which is really awesome to have on hand. Or I might reduce this down, even with the seasonings, and make more tomato paste, right? So we're going to move that over. Bring our jar up here so we can see. All right. So we put in, oh, you guys, probably half a cup of tomato paste. That's probably 1 can if you're buying it from the store. Half a pint here is what I got that I can. So let me put that in. Making sure I grab all this. Don't want to waste it. It's so many tomatoes to make this. So, all right. Got that. Now I'm making a huge batch of my seasoning because the container I have, I'm going to start putting these in glass jars. The container I actually use is being washed right now. It's not quite dry. It's so humid here. I got to make sure it's really dry. So we're going to put a couple tablespoons. I'm going to say 1/4 cup of my mixture. You guys, garlic, onion, Italian seasonings. I have turmeric in here. I have like everything bagel kind of mix in here, which is just like onions and so forth. A little salt and pepper. We're going to add that in there, just like that. We have a cup of wine. That's for wine, Pinot Noir. We got a cup of chicken broth in here like this. We can add in a couple cups of this wonderful tomato sauce I made. Look at that. Actually, I think we'll go to 3 of that. Look at that. Isn't that looks so beautiful? I want to mix all these ingredients in before I add my chicken. You could do whole chicken, you know, cut it up into wonderful pieces and let just stew in here with this. That would be great. I happen to have, well, I do have whole chicken. So I don't have one that was working on the frog. I did have some chicken breasts that were easier for her to do the frog. Here, on here. That's why we save the chicken for last. I can do the vegetables all together. I'm going to just cut these big chunks, just like this. I mean, if you had a whole chicken, you can just dice up that chicken and throw it in there, throw the legs, the wings, you know, and a lot of wonderful flavor to this. Or you can just use chicken breasts like I am. I have 3 here, just like that. Okay. Support your locals, right? I love it. All right, just like this. Maybe. There we go. And then up there. Put that there. All right, we're going to move it into the sink. The great thing about this is you can do this over the stove. You can put this in a crock pot and let it stew. But if you guys have never gotten these little timed pressure cookers, I absolutely love them. And so that is what we're going to use. We're just going to make sure this is all mixed in, just like this. And I'm going to show you that pressure cooker here. It is. It's like this, you can see it, right? Just putting stuff in here, whether you're making rice or whatever, or stews, or roasts. They just fit right in there, just like this. You set them on different numbers here in the front, and it goes automatically, and it's absolutely wonderful. So you guys, all right, we're going to see this when it's done. All right, we are going to make our mashed potatoes now. We have been cooking a mixture of golden potatoes and sweet potatoes. Love having those. I can them all the time. So we are going to start with, I don't know, 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter. Love butter, good for it. We're going to make sure that that is definitely going. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually saute some onions and some garlic in this. So I have mixed up some onions here. The way we like it, guys. We love onions and garlic in this house. It's an absolute staple. Us here. So we're going to get that going. Get this back on the stove here. But first we're going to add in our garlic. So we're going to mix that up and then back on the stove. And we'll be back and finish this up. Just as long as we want to get these going nice and soft, tender, iridescent, maybe even slightly caramely. That is what we want to add that great flavor to our mashed potatoes. All right. We've added our garlic in here, and we'll be right back. All right. So I'll tell you guys, really support. This is like my local dairy. You guys remember getting glass bottles like this? I love my local dairy. So we got the best cream as well too. So we're going to put a half cup of cream in with this garlic and onions. We have some milk over here just in case we need to thin it out a little bit. I'm also adding in a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. And we are going to add in a tablespoon of my seasoning. Mix. And get this all mixed up like this. We're going to put this back on the stove for just a second. Make sure that that cream is nice and heated slightly before we add our potatoes. All right. We have got our potatoes here that we're putting in here. Like I said, I'd love to do some canning to actually cook the potatoes for myself, but I added the canned sweet potatoes in here. Give it a nice little mixture. And we are going old school with this, everyone. You can get a mixer, you know, and do it that way, or you can just do this by hand. Mixed in just like that. We're not going to use that extra milk. This is beautiful. It'll be wonderful to serve. Like I said, with the chicken cacciatore, you can serve it with pasta, or recommended potatoes. And since Patrick is not a pasta person, we decided potatoes is definitely going to be the way we go. Like I said, you could definitely use a mixer if you wanted to. Do them by hand. Just a few of us here, so look at that, everyone. It's wonderful. Oh yeah, beautiful taste. Take that wonderful garlic and onions, and cheese and cream, and the butter. This is fantastic. We're going to set those aside and have them with our dinner, everybody. All right. Lady Hamilton's mashed potatoes. All right, our chicken cacciatore is done, and look at how beautiful this is. Amazing. So in the recipe, also, you want to be able to put in fresh oregano and fresh rosemary and stuff like that. That is something I did not tell you to do because I already canned my tomatoes with the wonderful herbs from my garden. If you guys watched my previous episode, you will see that I canned those tomatoes with fresh basil, fresh oregano, and fresh rosemary. That was already in the tomatoes when I made my sauce to add to this. I just want to make that note. But look at how wonderful this is. A great chicken stew, right? And so we have taken out some of the chicken from here, and I have cut that up for just presentation purposes. But oh my heavens, this is really good. So let's plate it up, everyone. We got our wonderful plate here. There we go. And we got these fantastic Lady Hamilton potatoes, right? Mashed potatoes. Yeah. Put this up and just make a little place just like that. Nice place to put our stew. Our stew right in there. Look at that. Look at that. That would be really good too for just by itself. Potatoes like that. Going to top it with our wonderful chicken. That definitely stewed in there, but look at how beautiful it is. And I want to just take a little bit of the sauce to go right over chicken as well. Look at that. Now, you wouldn't be Italian without finishing this baby with some Parmesan cheese. Like this. Get some Parmesan cheese. Clean that up. And you guys have chicken cacciatore. Awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you live.
Yes, you will. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Doesn't that look good? If you guys have any questions, let me know. That was so good. And yes, I was inspired. I know that's one of your favorites, JJ. And my family sure did love that. We definitely keep that in with our amazing recipes in our cycle through the month. Love, love, love it. And you guys just really love having the pressure cooker situation. That is just so awesome for so many things I'm doing, whether it's chicken mole or soups or now chicken cacciatore and more, whether I'm making sauces, you know, and all kinds of stuff. It's really, really awesome. I highly suggest you guys go and grab one. Yes, that's right. Yum, 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 yum. I hope you guys try that. I am grabbing these here for your comments. I hope you guys try it. That's the whole point of doing these shows on Sunday, is to inspire you guys to make your kitchen the heart of your house again, right? And try these recipes. I look forward to your guys' different takes on them. You can always put things in the comments. Let me know. Share pictures. you know, all those kind of things of this. And hopefully we've inspired you guys to try these kind of things, right? She's like, I've never had this meal. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, it is definitely time for some dessert. Man, I just, you know, I have done almost every kind of cheesecake. That was definitely one of the things that was very popular at my restaurant was cheesecakes. And, you know, I was really inspired. Somebody is like, let's try this one. I had never before made a pineapple, like a Piña Colada cheesecake. It's now one of our favorites. So if you guys have not tried this rendition, it definitely does not stay in the house very long. In fact, you know, I had to go get some fresh pineapple again because I had to remake this. It is so, so good. So we are going to load that up right now for you guys. I hope you are ready for some wonderful dessert because this is truly a great favorite. And here is my rendition on Piña Colada cheesecake. So here we go. If you guys, again, if you have any questions, please make sure you put those in the chat. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and rant, rant, rant. Thank you guys. So let's load it up. Here we go.
All right, we are making coconut cream, kind of a Piña Colada cheesecake today, which will be a coconut cream base topped with a wonderful caramelized pineapple topping. The first thing is we're going to start with a crust. You guys know I don't use any kind of flour or graham crackers for my crust. I use nuts. You can use macadamia, which would be really great. You can use walnut. You can use pecan. You can use whatever. But the greatest thing about this too is avoiding flours in our foods. So we are using wonderful walnuts a lot. That's one of our favorites here too. Macadamias are a little expensive, but that would be an amazing thing if you really wanted to do a great nut crust. But we are going to do that, and we have melted some butter. So we have a 1/4 cup of butter that we're going to mix here with our nuts. And just toss that up like that. Make a really good crust, everyone. Especially if you're trying to avoid those kind of things like flours and so forth. But if you want to, you guys could always do your traditional one, but we start with our crust here. There we go. Get those loaded up, just like that. All right. Let's push those into the bottom. Just like that. Really good. Just simple chopped nuts and about a 1/4 cup of melted butter. And you have an amazing alternative to your typical crust. Really, really good. All right. That is good to go. And we are going to make our filling next. Be right back. All right. For our filling for our cream cheese, we're making a little bit more for this because I have to save some of this for a different recipe we're going to do later on. But we're going to start. Normally, I'm going to be three packages of cream cheese. Support your locals. Love my local dairy. They do amazing as a dairy products, right? Make sure that your cream cheese is out in room temperature. And we're going to get that blending here before we get started with the rest of our ingredients. All right, you want to get this cream cheese nice and fluffy. So just put it on. That's why it's really important to have it like in a room temperature. Just let it sit out for a little bit. And we get that going. Fluffed up like whipped cream. Right, before we add in our eggs, we're just going to scrape these sides to make sure that everything is incorporated. Like that. Get that hole towards that beater. All right. Just here. All right, we're going to add in our eggs. It's got 5 egg yolks and 2 whole eggs. We're going to add these in a few at a time so they get well incorporated. One thing about a hand mixer, if you use them, it's a lot easier to control these sides. Just keep scraping the sides. This, so we get everything incorporated before we add our next step. Or just stick to the sides here. Now we're going to add in 1 cup of honey. That's our sweetener. We don't sugar in this out. Making sure we grab all of that honey. We don't want to waste a drop. Get a little spatula and scoop out all that wonderful honey. Look at that. All right. Our next thing is we're going to be flavoring this with a little bit of vanilla. I use just like a teaspoon or a capful of making your own vanilla. Awesome, everyone. Super simple. We'll have to do a video on that. Also, one thing that I do use is I love some liquor. Love, like a Malibu or a coconut rum. It's really going to help us to get that flavor, although we are going to be using coconut as well too. So about a shot of this, which is about 3 cupfuls of our wonderful coconut flavored liquor. And then I got some Amazing Pie coconut milk. You guys can see right here how awesome this is, right? Really nice and creamy. So we are going to be adding, you can get this in the can. It's about 1.5 cups. We're going to start with a 1/2 cup of cream and see how we go. Just so we can all see it. All right. Adding this wonderful coconut cream. You already smell the coconut. A little bit more. We're going to let this go for a few minutes and make sure everything incorporates all together. I'm going to turn it off in a second. Again, scraping the sides. We want to make sure everything is getting incorporated. Off the spatula as well too. All right. All right, move this over, take this out, and then this out of the tube. Just make sure this is got all of this incorporated around the sides here. Nice. Whoops. Nice and creamy. Beautiful. All right, let's get our supplies. The thing about cheesecake, at least one of the things that I learned about cheesecake, is cooking it really slow. You can even put water bath, which means some kind of pan or whatever of water underneath it to help it get creamy and stay soft. And also, if you cook it slower versus fast, a lot of us, just go and hey, 350 in the oven, and an hour later, it's all cracked and whatever, and might be good to go. That's not how I do things. I use a water bath, and I cook it at 275 for like hour and a half to 2 hours, cooking it really slow, and it stays super creamy. So we're gonna put in our, look, it took all 4 of those. But not saving this for later, for another ingredient. Just gonna put this all in here. Look at that. That is all incorporated in here. There we go. All right. That is the first process of our wonderful cheesecake. Make sure I grab all of this from here into the oven. 275. I'll let you know after this is finished exactly the time, but I check this all the time because as soon as it starts cracking, you know that you don't want it to there. So you want to make sure you avoid the cracking. It's a little overdone when it gets to that point. So we cook it slowly in the oven. Like I said, 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hours, and we go from there. And then make sure that when we test it, so once it gets kind of set, so it's not running like this, then it's good to chill overnight before we get to our next step. But this is our wonderful coconut flavored cream cheese, our cheesecake. And we'll be back to do the next part after this is done. All right, we are going to make our pineapple topping go in our cheesecake. So we're going to start with some fresh pineapple. We are going to put this thing called cut and cord. Things off here. Making it easy for us to cut that later. Cut this in chunks like this. You guys will see the method to my madness here. These side peelings off. That one's easy. We just kind of cut this off like that. You know, filling, saving our insides. And some chicken's probably happy with these peelings. Nothing like some wonderful fresh pineapple. Great, great for sore throats, stomach aches, just amazing just to eat as it is. All right. So we are going to cut these little tiny chunks because we're going to saute these and get them all yummy. Like I said, we're making a wonderful topping to go onto our cheesecake. You could probably even puree them if you want to, but we are going to saute them with some honey, a little bit of butter, get them really kind of candy, just like that. Do a nice fine chop here. Awesome. More for us later. Doing that, it's right here. Real rough top. Got all this beautiful pineapple here. Gotta let these cook. We've got our move over. We got our wonderful grill going here. Got our butter sauteing. Juices. We want this nice and cool off slightly before it even goes onto our cheesecake. Just top this with it. We'll save the rest of that for topping it with some fresh pineapple designs later. We're just going to let that saute. Yeah, beautiful, slightly caramelized, like I said. Adding some wonderful honey to it in a minute, and we'll see how this goes. All right, now we're going to add a little bit of honey. Probably about 1/4 of a cup. We're just going to continue letting this cool. All the honey is getting here. So we're going to make sure it comes out of our spoon. Just mix it up. Let it continue to cook down. Just really that simple until it's almost like a candy-like little caramel sauce. That is the point of this. Letting those juices just thicken and reduce. And we have a fantastic topping for our cheesecake. All right, so you can see as we've cooked it down, it's thickened up into like a jam, basically. And that is what we want, right? We're gonna let this cool down so that, and when our cheesecake is cooled down, we're gonna put this on top of that, and this is gonna be our wonderful topping. All right, everybody, simple little pineapples go on top of our coconut cheesecake. So I just wanted to show you our cheesecake here. It's out of the oven, but the thing I want to show you is kind of when you want to make sure, and it did start cracking a little bit here, and I filled it so much it just puffed up and it's beautiful. I don't know how we're going to top it with the wonderful pineapple, but we'll see. We'll deal with that later. But right now, how it has their cheesecake, you want it to have like kind of this jello consistency, and you can just kind of tap it and you see how it shakes, but it's still firm. It's almost like a jello. This will settle down. I see I've got a little crack that I just caused, also from tapping it. But this will settle down as it sits and cools. Always make sure. Hi, so we're doing our cheesecake, and we wanted to show you how this is being, how do we know that it's done? Is you can kind of tap on it, and as I'm tapping on it, that you want this wonderful, and our cheesecake will be ready to eat as it is nice and cooled down. Look at that. We've got our wonderful Piña Colada Cheesecake, everyone. Yeah. Yum, yum, yum. All right, we're going to chill it down and we will see it served up later. All right, our cheesecake came out amazing. So we had fancied up a plate here with a little bit of fresh pineapple, some beautiful basil leaves, some fresh mint, just decorate our plate. And I am telling you, everything should be looking beautiful when you go to plate up something, right? And let's see. Man, this looks so good, everyone. So good. What a great suggestion. All right, we are going to load this baby up. Look at that. Look at that. And again, we'll just make this little presentation just going kind of the other way. So we've got this beautiful burst of color, just like that. Look at how pretty that is, everyone. This is our wonderful Piña Colada Cheesecake, right? Picture perfect. Can't wait to try it. Thanks for the suggestion.
Yum, yum, yum is that. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's definitely now a favorite in the household. Is definitely in. I'm always making some kind of cheesecake. Obviously the husband and the son love it, and so I kind of keep one going every few weeks. They just love it. Great thing to if it can stay, but definitely something that can pack away for lunches as well for my wonderful, beautiful husband. But yeah, that's definitely one of their favorites. And something that's just so great too, especially when you need that burst of vitamin C or the sore throats. Believe it or not, that wonderful to have pineapple around the winter time. And yes, that is so good. It is super delicious. I am so glad. I hope that you try that, Cass. It is really, like I said, a wonderful favorite. And this is something I was very famous for at the restaurant. I used to sell these even on the side and get orders for them all the time. And like I said, I made so many varieties. And I've made coconut. I've made like those all the time, but I don't know why I never thought of doing like a pina colada one. But here we are. We'll have to include that into the wonderful recipe book I'm working on. So I hope you guys enjoyed that very, very much. That is going to be the end of our wonderful cooking videos for today. We are going to switch over here now because we love to not only feed your body, but we also love to feed your soul. But I was thinking about this and we were talking about love, and I don't know why I was just really inspired, but I was inspired because I don't know how many, we've got a lot of new viewers, how many even know about the life of Lady Hamilton. So I had a great interview from a wonderful moderator here too, and a great friend. And I figured that would be really awesome to show you guys. So as we switch in between that, though, we know that we love the Be Blessed prayer. And I thought that was real something. It was a wonderful gift that was given to me in my daily prayers. Something that I include is my prayers for others. So I turned it into a little video. I've been saying this on my show pretty much the entire time on Sundays, but it is something I say every single day. So I hope you all enjoyed this. So let's switch over and start with our amazing Be Blessed prayer. I love that prayer. Like I said, it was such a beautiful gift from my neighbor, just on a little bedazzled index card. It's just turned out to be one of my most favorite gifts and something to pray for every single one of us, because I may not know what you're going through, may not know what I'm going through, but God knows what you're going through. So it's amazing just to have that wonderful prayer and to share it with you guys every single Sunday to lift and put your souls just right and give that love for one another. So we are going to be watching a video here of an amazing interview from the one and only Frosty Pimp. If you guys have not seen this, was the interview with the headmaster. But I figure you guys would love to know and maybe get to know me a little bit more today, as I do so much to love on so many people. I truly love you guys with all of my heart. So we are going to load that up right now, and I hope you guys enjoy this to get to know me through the eyes of the amazing interviewer, Frosty Pimp. So here we go, the podcaster's perspective. Hey, Frosty.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Lady Hamilton. How are you?
My friend.
So, I want to say how honored I am to be able to interview you, the queen of podcasting. Um, it is such a nice honor to be able to be the one. And all I did was simply ask. And of course, you said, well, sure. And here we are. And then I realized, well, I might not be the most qualified or the best person amongst us to do this, but I really want to do you justice. I really want to highlight all the work you do. And so I crafted my questions um, very carefully. And I realized I can't imitate you and your brilliance with this,
Oh, thank
but
you.
I can only just do frosty things. And
We'll take frosty
I
things.
really, I really come up with these questions that I really appreciate you allowing me to ask the questions I want to. Uh,
Right.
and I think that it will give insight into all that you do for all of us. That's what my hopes are.
Awesome. Well, I'm a little nervous, and my husband, the funny thing that he was saying is, make sure answers too. So that was kind of funny. That was his only piece of advice to say to you tonight. And thank you for calling me the queen of podcasts. I try, and I love what I do. You know that. I love that. I'm trying to ground it. Oh my gosh, there's so many people here. And
Hello, everybody.
right? Make sure you say hello to everybody. So many people in the chats over there. A lot of our Artist Corner family there. You guys, I'm trying to grab those chats up. But
I love you
I'm a
all.
little nervous. I have no idea what basically he's going to ask. We are going to look at a little bit of art and stuff, but he really wanted to, talking about being interviewed on a different show, and he jumped right to that. And he goes, "I would love to interview you so we could find out a lot about what you do, who you are, and including your artwork." So it is honestly my honor to be interviewed by one of you guys. So we are going to let him have it. I'll try to be looking at the chats and grabbing your comments and whatever. If you guys have a question for Frosty or something like that, make sure you guys know how to do that, the sirens and whatever. But again, welcome, welcome, welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. All right,
Yes.
Frosty, I'm gonna let
Yes.
you have the reins, my friend. So here we
Well,
go.
I appreciate everybody showing up. Hello, everybody. Um, so when I was thinking about all the things I really want to ask Lady Hamilton, I mean, we could spend 3 shows. Frosty's got lots of questions, but I remember when I first joined Artist Corner, I just loved it. And Lady Hamilton was there and was so inviting to me and all the other artists as well. And I didn't know anything about how this whole thing worked or what all. I just started posting, and the next thing I know, I saw Lady Hamilton had a school, Hamilton Liberty Academy, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And then the next thing is I posted art. You invited me to be on your show, and I'm like, whoa, I don't think Lady Hamilton knows who I am. I don't know if I'm right for a show. And of course, I did it. You reassured me, and it was so easy because we just sat and had a conversation. And I think when I was preparing for the show, I just thought about it like, what do I really want to know? Because I think I am not alone in all the questions I want to ask you about. And it's like almost like we were sitting down at a private dinner or something, the things I would ask you. And I thought that would be the most informative to everybody, not only to me, but to everybody out there to know what all you do, how much you do, how much you serve others, and some of the burdens that come along with that. Uh, I couldn't believe it that okay, well this podcasting thing that was easy. She's great at that, but she does 5 shows a week, and they're different topics. And I just pictured in my mind, I'm like, you must have like a whole production team and assistants to help you. You have schools going, you do our group. It was really mind blowing. And then to find out that, well, you do most of, not all of this work, mostly on your own.
Mhm.
That's amazing to me. I know I've said it many times. I think you're probably the busiest woman in America. I can't imagine anybody that does more. And you do it every day, 365 days a year. And then you still have life. So I was kind of wanting to go through what is a typical day like for Lady Hamilton, a typical week. How much of your time is actually spent promoting others essentially?
That's my first question. Okay, well, first of all, thank you. Yeah, I'm not the busiest woman in the world, but I am pretty busy, and it is devoted. So yeah, I do wake up in the morning, and I have my time, guys, where I wake up and I do my things. I got to grab my coffee, I got to do all that kind of stuff to feed, got to go out and say out, so I have my personal life and things I do first, that always comes first. My husband's a graveyarder, so I try to be as quiet as possible because he sleeps at night. And so I have kind of the day. But once I get going onto this, the first thing I hit is the artist corner. In truth, that is the first thing I hit, because I am thinking, and if you guys don't know, I have a spreadsheet that I work on that is a month out to make sure that I highlight everybody in the group. And as it grows, then I've got to manipulate and add new people in and make sure that they're not left out. And I want to do them. I might have to bump some people back because I don't want them to think I've ignored them, and things like that. So I have a major Excel sheet that now is like a year long, going on to make sure I do that. So the artist of the day and posting that, what day is it? What's the theme day? And then, so I do that and I post the artist of the day. And then I go on my regular stream, with my good mornings. And then after I do that, well, first, actually, even before I do that, I try to hit and like and share everybody's post. That's something I usually do. I don't know how many other group leaders literally like and share almost every single post in the group. I'll come back and comment later if I can. And then I go over, now that we're on X, and I do the same thing. I copy and paste and go over there and make sure I post that and that too, sharing everybody's stuff, trying to, get that out. And then I say my hellos on my own personal stream in the group, right? And then I do the sharing. So if you guys don't know, I have 8 I keep calling them channels, and channels is not right. I have 8 accounts that I share this stuff on, which is really, really important, the sharing, because the more shares they get, the more views they get, because I've learned that the algorithm will pick that up over the likes, over the comments. The shares are so important, and I just didn't see that getting shared enough. So I opened up every email account I have so that I can share it out. So by the time I'm done, usually your stuff is shared on 8 different accounts by the time my day is done. Then I've got to go back and start commenting, and it might not be full on paragraphs or whatever. And I try to look at the work and I try to make sure that, it's beautifully done or whatever I can do, because, there might be 10 posts in there, and I want to make sure everybody knows that I am there. I see you, and so forth. Right. So that is just my first at least hour or so. It takes at least that long to do that. So then I got to figure out, do I have things booked? Am I promoting, that we got openings coming up? What shows are coming up? I got to prepare for that. What guests are coming up? I've got to get their portfolios ready and their PDFs ready. I've got to make sure that I've got the promotions done. I've got to make sure all my StreamYard links are up. I've got to make sure that that is out there. And then, hey, by the way, do you even know I have a show? Because one of the biggest reactions why the shares are so important, my biggest number one comment I hear when, especially, and then I got to find artists, maybe they're not in our group, and ask you and invite you to be on, and maybe they're new, right? So I'm trolling, people love your art, and I want to build a relationship for, I'd love to have you on the show, right? So this is really, a major ordeal to do, just to be able to this. So by the time things are said and done, my husband says I work a good 34-hour job that he never sees me get paid for, but the amount of love that I give out, he's like, it's unbelievable. So this is a typical, I guess, day or week. And then on top of it, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing something for the cooking show, sometimes that's a 2 or 3 day process, because of all the filming and the editing, and sometimes things aren't ready till the next day. I've got to go shopping for the special ingredients, that I'm going to cook for that day. I mean, it's just, it is. And then I've still got to manage my household, clean my house, help my son in his schooling, make sure my husband is well taken care of, because he is truly my first priority. I mean, no offense to all of you guys out there, but I would drop everything because of my family. That always comes first. So you guys are lucky that we get this much time that I dedicate to highlighting others. So that is basically, and then I still try not to live my life up on social media and try to really dedicate time. So like when my husband gets up for the day between like 3 and 5 before we even go to work, I'm all off social media, because that time is dedicated to him, especially like on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when I don't have a show. There's reasons for that, because he is off those days, and those days are dedicated to him. So if that answers your question on how busy I might be next, like I said, 30, 40 hours a week of doing this, promoting this, finding guests, and sharing spotlights.
So that sounds like an incredible amount to me. It sounds like actually more than that, but there's also costs that come along with doing this. I
Yes, there.
just recently learned that. How important is it for those of us who want to support your show and to help you? How important is that for you to be able to count on us to do those things so that you can promote us?
Well, there are costs. It costs me a significant amount just to go on StreamYard. Then I have to pay for the X subscription, and then I have to pay for the Canvas subscription. I have to pay for all these costs a month. So when I am truly grateful, and thank you, JJ. He just gifted a cookie. Speaking of helping out, he just gifted a cookie over there on Pilled. I appreciate my friend. That helps, and it usually puts me to tears because I don't necessarily like to ask for that. I mean, my biggest things is, and sharing out the shows or sharing out the promotions so people are aware, because when it comes down to it, is I am doing this so that you guys can come on here and sell your artwork or sell your jewelry or sell your whatever, or change the community or whatever. It's literally honoring my guests so that everyone's aware of who you are. So it's kind of like, yes, are you promoting my show? But in the same hand, you're making sure that there are enough people watching so that you guys can have people that are interested in you and what you're doing or what you're creating, and maybe a buyer, or maybe something like that. That is kind of the whole point of all of this, is, and also bringing real art back to the world, and showing it how amazingly talented this whole group and this whole community is, unbelievably talented. But it usually brings my heart to tears because I'm grateful for the support, because it isn't cheap, guys. I mean, we're talking, by the time everything's said and done, probably a couple hundred at least, just a minimal cost to run this every month.
Now, I know that you do this. I know you do this to promote others, and most of everything you do serves others. I know for myself, I'm I'm not really good at promoting my own art, but I wonder if people understand that to for you to promote their art, you have to promote yourself so that there are more people that see these people's art. Do you think that people understand that that's what you're trying to do, or maybe they misconceive it? What is your opinion on? I I would have a hard time promoting my own self, uh, but it's necessary for you, for others.
I I don't think they understand. In fact, we have a little example of what just happened kind of on Thursday, which kind of made me slightly a little sad, because I'm always trying to bring awareness. Like I said, one of the number one things I get back and comments, especially with new people, and it's like, oh, you have a show? Oh, you have an art group. So anyway, I can even make awareness that I have this going on. Hey guys, do you know I promote an artist every day? Hey guys, do you know I have artists on the week every day? So I try to throw that into the artist of the day when I highlighted you, right? And not necessarily for self gratification, but I figured if everybody, most of the posts that people share are the artists of the day. So let's bring awareness that we even have this group, that I even have a show that had this on here, and it has probably the least amount of shares that I saw in the group in a long time. And I was like, I don't know, people mistook that as I'm just trying to promote myself, which in a way, me promoting myself is promoting you, because I don't want to see 50 viewers when you guys come on the show. I want to see thousands. And that requires your help. That requires you guys sharing this out. That requires you guys making awareness that there's even a show on here. So sorry that, thank you, Frosty, for being the guinea pig on that. But obviously I did that wrong, and I guess I'll go back to the artist of the day, how it is. But it's like I'm trying everything in my power to let people know that I even exist and that I'm doing this for others, so that again it brings awareness to you guys when you come on the show.
Yeah, and I know there's certain. It's one of the things that really distinguished the Honest Corner group for me personally versus others is that close knit family atmosphere. And I know we talk about this, and it's obviously talked about because it's honestly the truth. There's a lot of support amongst the artists, and that's what. Now, there has been talk about keeping the group small, but to keep the group small means that you're not going to have that amount of support. And these artists, and a lot actually depend on selling out.
Right.
That's important. Yeah, we want to keep that group to a certain standard, and it's easier done with small, but also there's a balance that you want to get as many viewers and as many eyes on this art as possible. How is it like trying to balance that? Like, what are the ideas and your thoughts going forward to try to make both of those things happen?
Hold on. I told you guys to bring me to tears for this kind of stuff. Thank you, Frosty Princess. And JJ, both you guys, for donating to the show. I sure do appreciate that. I love everything you do for us, Artist Corner. You're very welcome. It is truly a pleasure. Truth just changed something, which, I never made the group private. It was public. And if you guys didn't know, I was fighting off bots left and right because I want real people in there. I mean, I could have 500,000 people in the group and they'd be all bots. And most of those groups are, and just trolls. And I don't want that. I want real people who are involved to create this community and be potential buyers, be potentially inspired by your work and things like that. So just recently they changed it so that I can make the group public, but you have to ask permission. That has really saved a lot in the last month or so, because now I can go and say, okay, yeah, you're following 1,000 people. You got 0 follows and 0 posts, and no profile picture. I know you're a bot. No, thank you. You're not in the group. So that has actually helped. But for the previous, 2 years or whatever, no, I'm like, okay, this person's a bot and that's a person a bot. And I have to kind of go through too. I mean, yeah, I want to have a large group, but I want to make sure that these are actually real people and they're not going to come in and cause issues or what are they, what kind of artists are they as well too, or a good person. I don't want hatred in the group too, so I got to look at your profiles. It's the same thing when that's another thing as the artist of the day. You guys think I just have this art on hand. No, I got to go through your media, and sometimes that's like a million memes before I even find your guys' artwork. I'm like, okay. And then I'm going to make sure that you actually, because every once in a while I get caught by that. Oh, that's not actually my painting. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you have 1,000 memes, and I thought that was yours, right? Because I don't have your guys' artwork on hand. Even when you guys come on the show, I kind of maybe keep that in an email file, but I don't keep that kind of stuff. That's your stuff. Yeah. But I want the group to grow, but I want it to grow healthy and with real active community members. I'd love to see all 600 in our group be active, and thank God for the 50 that are,
Yeah. Well, that leads me to another question. With the Artist Corner group, you have a great group, but a great group doesn't exist without rules.
Right.
And rules have to be, enforced. Maybe it's not at the forefront and people lose track of what they're supposed to actually post there. And it's not much that is, you have to keep out for. You have to be the one. Not only are you encouraging and commenting on everybody's art, which is incredible in its own right, and promoting everybody, but then you have to be the bad guy and go in if somebody's posting something that's not allowed. That must be difficult in itself. And I'm sure that might harbor some bad feelings and lead to other stuff. There is a lot that goes into this that you deal with that I don't think that we always appreciate and understand.
Yeah, I hate that part because, I wish it was just kind of an open forum, but these rules have been in place for the whole time almost Artist Corner has been in here. And I want to be a place of community, sure. And that's, I love that everyone should comment in each other's post things here too. But, there's a place for political stuff, and news. And, I'm aware of it, guys, but that's why we have our own accounts to promote that kind of stuff. I want it to be a gallery. So when people come in here, our artists, they literally look and say, oh my gosh, look at all this. I want it to be a breath of fresh air. Like I want to get away from the political, and I want just how I feel. One of the reasons I go to Artist Corner is I want to start my day with beauty. And a lot of the news, good, bad, or indifferent, just doesn't put me in that state of mind. So to keep it that way, anything .gov, it's out. It's whatever. It's, and it's not that it's not great news or you guys don't want to share it, but it's like I have to, and very very seldom do I have to delete a post. But yeah, or if there's hatred, sometimes I'm checking comments and there's been a few people that have said some nasty things, and I'll have to delete a comment. I'm like, I just can't. I can't have that. I have to check to see if your guys' work is AI. I have a way of doing that. That's something else I have to do before I do the artist of the day. And I'm like, if it's an AI situation, then I'm not going to promote that. I'm not going to share that out. Maybe new members come in, and I got to make sure that you're not doing that. That's been a rule since the word go. And unfortunately, that's not always the greatest of people, that like that either. They have their own opinions on that, but that has been a rule in there too. I mean, I welcome prayer. I've had kind of fights about that, but I personally invited Mondo in there because there's so many of us that need prayer. So please put those in the comments, when you need that, because it's there for all of us, because I want that ability to be a community, but I want it to be, unfortunately, I guess I do have to be the bad guy, but I want it to be a place of peace, happiness, and beauty. And I want you guys to share your original works. I want to see pictures. I want to see descriptions. I want to see old stuff, new stuff, and continue to share out that you guys are amazingly talented. You guys are, and so that makes it sometimes difficult, but also very beautiful.
Yeah, I think you do a great job at that. I just think of how difficult that must be, and that's something that goes along with it that is unfortunate. But you're willing to step up to the plate and do that, and I've never been ever asked to be on any podcast before. My art never resonated with anybody else, so you do allow a lot of exposure and opportunities that you're not going to get in other places. And I know that. I've seen other communities, other owners of art groups literally say that you set the standard for that. And there's just a lot of negative stuff that goes along with that. And I think if you're addressing those, because I don't think that people really think about it that way on an everyday basis. I don't know if we go into it that much, but that's the kind of things you deal with. And finding artists, how difficult. I've done this a couple of times myself, and that's not always easy to just, hit somebody up and say, hey, will you be on this podcast? That usually requires, and at least in the cases I've done, 2 or 3 different communications, and that's if they don't just tell you where to go to begin with.
Right.
Do you have any help with that?
No. Every once in a while, like you might throw somebody, JJ might throw somebody to me or introduce me to somebody, but it is almost a trolling in a way, and not in a bad way. I'm not, trying to bug them. It usually starts with building a relationship. Like, wow, your art is really beautiful. Having different accounts like Artist Corner TS, where I'm just sharing somebody so often and making comments, and then next thing I know, they might join the group, and it's like Mercy's a great example that was just on from Nigeria, right? And just sharing her out, commenting, and then she joins the group, and I just make a comment, love to have you on the show sometime, right? And she was like, all the way from Nigeria. She was like, seriously, me? But it's kind of building a relationship, and sometimes, it takes a little while. So, this is why I'm booking out usually a month or 2 in advance, because in the meantime, I'm working on building relationships to invite new people to the show. And this is a constant everyday thing. And a lot of times you guys do point stuff out to me, and that's great. And that's great, and that's another reason for having more viewers and more people wanting to watch too, because sometimes they will look at my show and be like, oh, she's only got 200 views. Why would I want to be on a show that's that? And that's kind of hurtful too. When there's times I've had 1,000 of viewers and I don't know what's going on. Maybe I don't know, the forces are against me at this point. I don't know. This one, another reason why I need your guys' help to share out the promo, share out the word, so that we get more people to come and view and take away from a step away from that madness and just settle down and enjoy greatness that you guys all create. But yeah, no, I'm always on the hunt for good artists, musicians, photographers, you name it. And I bug a lot of people that still haven't been on the show. I'm like, you guys, and they're like, no. They still tell me no. I'm like, good example. We love TV Bear. I love you, my friend. But it took me 3 months to convince him to come on the show. and he just finally did.
I have done a little bit of that encouraging people, and the biggest thing I can tell everybody is, I was
Thank
scared to
you.
death the first time that I came on. I'm like, I don't know if this is what, I don't know if I'm who Lady Hamilton thinks I am. But you made it so easy that, you just enjoy yourself on it. I don't think that there's a lot of people that are willing to push through that. But let's talk about the spiritual forces. I know that you made a shift to be more positive and to
Mhm.
bring more positive news into people's life on your show.
Mhm.
I was absolutely grateful for that because if anything in this world we need more is positive news because we're not getting it from any other outlets. And
Right.
there's enough hardships in everybody's life just getting through, especially now than ever. And you made that shift to do that. And immediately you started getting that negative spiritual
Mhm.
feedback from that and been under attack for doing so. I totally believe that's spiritual. I totally believe that. I know you're overcoming it. I'm praying for you. How real is that? How
That's
real
really,
is that being?
you guys, I changed my Monday show from being political to being a more of a humanitarian, good news kind of show this last month or so. And I went from 1,000 views to 200. I mean, it just boom, gone, gone. And no offense to the ones that want to do the news, but to be in that constant state of mind too, that puts extra stress on me. And it's not that I'm not aware, it's not that I don't share it out, it's not that I'm not active in my communities, it's but that's what I believe. You got to be literally active. If you want to make a difference, get on your feet and go make a difference. I do. I go to the town meetings, I go and meet with my congressmen, I go and do this kind of stuff too. But to share that all the time and then feel like, okay, there might not be hope, or it's not happening fast enough, or just making you guys stressed out like I'm getting stressed out, right? I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. Because one thing that I grew up with is like, we're all the good news, that so and so rescued whatever, and someone's whatever. And so I started really changing that, and literally my views of the show tanked from like 1,000 to maybe 200 overnight. And I feel like there is some kind of force out there that I start losing followers. I start whatever, the algorithms start making me disappear, and it's kind of like really interesting. So yeah, I mean, I pray all the time. I'm like, all right, God, let's break through this because, the devil can't win. There are amazing stories out there. There's amazing people out there. We just need to be reminded of that. And again, like this community, being there for each other, helping each other, sharing out each other, highlighting each other, doing whatever we can to fight through anything of this negative, right? Because so many times we talk about it being a spiritual battle. I truly believe that. And it just doesn't go after my show. It goes after my body. You guys may not know this too, but my body has been really badly under attack. And Patrick is going like crazy trying to do everything he can. I have specialist appointments because this is how they tried to take me out before. I mean, if you guys don't know, there's no joke when I say that I was paralyzed. I couldn't walk. I almost died. And I almost think that I'm on borrowed time. And maybe that's another reason I love to give back so much and highlight and serve others. I'm on borrowed time. And so when the devil can't affect me, personally or emotionally, he takes me out physically. And I have been down for the last, I don't know, few weeks, really struggling hard to fight the pain and the aches and all this kind of stuff that's about taking me out. So it's real. When you talk about this, it's real. And all because I want to, just share good news and be a positive light. I mean, it's crazy, but it's very real.
It's definitely. I've experienced some of that myself. Let's just hope the internet stays on. But all you do and all that you go through, all the things that we don't see, we're busy in our lives and if we really stop and think about it, but we're not the one going through a lot of what you do. How frustrating. And is it every time that you think, is this really worth it? Am I making enough of a difference to withstand all this? I mean, because it's an incredible amount. And like you say, you're not making a living from doing this. You're just trying to survive, to promote others, service to others. You can serve others a lot of different ways. is there ever times where you just get down and feel like this is just not worth it?
Yes. You're going to make me cry with some of these questions, Rossi, as of lately. Because when you sit there and you watch your numbers go down and you don't see things getting shared out and, things like that. Yeah. What does it do? Here comes the negative thoughts. And I try to tell you guys about that, wake up, make sure you talk positive to yourself, but here it comes. And it's like, am I even making a difference? Does anybody even really care? What in the world is happening? I don't understand it. And then when you don't feel good on top of your body physically feels good, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm dying. All right. I'm not afraid to die, everyone, by the way, because, I love heaven. I'm only afraid that I'm not doing something to serve the Lord and I just want to make it in. But, there's some times I'm like, am I even making a difference? Does anyone really care? But I know I have to sit there and fight that and realize that, okay, who's putting those negative thoughts in there? And sometimes I need to go to a quiet zone. And like over Christmas, truly what kind of got me through a lot of these negative thoughts was literally binge watching The Chosen and staying close to the Lord. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just sit back a little bit and I need to really focus on what's important to me and make sure my heart's in the right area. And I'll be back. I'll bounce right back, with his help. But yeah, it is. It is.
And I know there are a lot of different podcasts on the platforms that you do. You just recently added to YouTube, and there's been talk of others. There is a lot of censorship, and there's a lot of cliques and groups that go along with that are part of that spiritual warfare.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that do not want to see you succeed. I don't think people are aware of that, but I wouldn't be doing anybody justice if I didn't mention that today. And I don't know, I'm not looking for you to reciprocate. I just want to get that point out that there are those out there that do not want you to get their message. And it's not just spiritual. It's people that we might know. That has to be extremely frustrating. That now you're not only dealing with all the other stuff, but there are people actively, hoping you do not do well. So kudos to you for going through all of that and being able to just keep going. And, you have bad days. I have bad days. If I have a bad day, hey, I don't have to get up and do and promote and share. You do.
Mm-hmm. All right. Even if I miss a beat, I'll tell you what, everyone might think I'm dead or something. So apologies if I haven't, commented on everybody and whatever. I literally just kind of, and that's my hiatus. If I'm still liking and sharing your stuff, it's just like I just needed this past, holiday to take some time. And you guys have no idea. I mean, on a personal note too. I mean, if you want to dive into that too, you have no idea what's going on with me and my children and so forth. It's not easy, and I don't necessarily share that kind of stuff out. I just kind of just try to be the light. That's what I always say, everyone, be the light. And I try to do my best but I'm human and I'm not loved by everyone. Trust me, I have some haters, which are it's amazing, but I do. And but I have to kind of figure out, all right, how am I going to get through this and fight through the negativity and continue to be the light? But it is, yeah, I do
So
it every day.
if you have those that want to help you, what is the number one thing that people can do to support you in your efforts?
Let's make awareness that there's even a show.
Yes.
That's important. Because again, it's not about, oh, I want to be, the most famous person. It's I just cry when I go and I look at those numbers and I see that, okay, I just had you amazing guests on and I only had like 200 views. That hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings a lot because I want to see thousands of people come and see your guys' amazing talents and say, reach out and be like, oh, I want to buy this, or hey, can you make me this, or hey, how awesome is this? I want to share you guys with the world. So when I go and like I said lately, I mean, even when I first started, I had better views than I'm seeing lately.
And so, it's not about making me famous. It's because I want people to come and see how amazingly talented we all are. And so the best thing to do is not necessarily share out the actual show. I mean, you could do that too, but when you see promos or you make your own or whatever it might be like, do you even know that there's this amazing art group? Do you even know that there's this amazing night where you can step away from the madness and just join us in 2 hours of beauty? It's a great community, it could be inviting. So I guess that's the most help that I need, and then sharing, the wonderful work that we all do, sharing like, the artist of the day or sharing the artist of the week that you guys do pretty well. But yeah, if you guys want, especially the people who are trying to make a living as an artist, if you want, buyers and things like that and awareness, then having more people come to the show is going to be in benefit for you as well.
Yeah. And I think that's important to remember for all of us. We hear you saying like, share, but it's really not for you. It's for everybody else that you promote on your show. And that's important. And I think that's the perspective that we should get out is, yes, you're the one that having to say it, but it's not about promoting you. It's about promoting others and the platform that we have to get our work out there. I think that's important for people to understand. And I'm assuming, if people understand that, they'll want to do that, and it won't be, something we hear that on every podcast, and we sometimes look over that. But when you're trying to grow, that's very important, and I just say we all need to keep that in mind. I talk about your art. I really started when I was preparing for the interview. I've looked at your art; it's incredible.
Thank you.
It's not always received because it's a very specific, a lot of your statement pieces, your emotions, that's really what I was drawn to when I was looking closer at your art, like preparing for this. I really looked at it in a different perspective. Emotion series really, you went from darkness, sorrows, you know, and you really went through rage, unity, light. But I love how you brought it back from dark to light. Um, I think a lot of your art is necessary. It's bringing awareness to a lot of situations that people don't want to think about.
Mhm.
You generally, you don't post a lot of that, but I did see you won Artist Spotlight of the Week. And it was so genuine how surprised you were and how unexpected you were to win that. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, well, you should be getting tremendous amount of votes. But yet sometimes that art that you do that's necessary, but a lot of people don't want to look at.
Right.
They don't want to face that. They don't get you don't get the amount of recognition for that art. How hard is that being the owner of an art group and maybe not having that from other artists?
That's pretty hard. And I get it. Everyone wants to see beautiful pictures per se. I get that. Like the one that's sitting behind me that everyone loves so much. I really hate that piece. And people probably be like, what? Because I know it's beautiful and I put a lot of effort to it and things like that, but my soul's not in it. That is really pretty. And I work, it's still not even done. And that goes to show you the more I delay on a piece, the more I'm really not into it. And yes, can I do beautiful hummingbirds and roses? And yes, I can. And thank you guys so much for loving on that. But when you see a statement piece, there is such a huge story that goes behind that. I mean, it takes 3 months to make a lot of those pieces and to work through that, to tell that story, to tell that history and whatever. And I get it. And it just kind of goes, because sometimes it might be just like, oh, I can't stare at that, versus even zooming in and be like, what is this story even about? And I am more recognized, like the one behind me, Justice. She has been in 17 different shows. So it depends on the clientele, I guess. And the reason, I know that these aren't going to be hung up in people's houses, but they are really, that's why they're called statement pieces. They're really impactful. I've even gone to South Africa and stuff. It's like one leaders, in the world, right? And dragging these with me because of them requesting to do so. But it's hard, and but it might not be something that's pleasant to you, and that's why I don't post them, because I just saw that the reaction was like, oh, I can't look at that. So I don't want to freak you guys out. I don't want you to have to sit and go, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I can't look at that. So, I just kind of keep my posts pretty limited to, happy little pieces, and every once in a while though, like I create pieces like this when I've done a really, really hard one, like rape culture. That was probably the hardest piece I've ever had to create, but probably the most impactful one.
What do you think new artists today coming into Artist Corner, what do you think they think about the group? Do you think that's changed over time, or it's gotten better, or what is it?
I have seen it change. I have seen it change. Let me just grab Nancy, you guys, and thank you so much for your rants. I do see them, you guys, and thank you so much. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for that. I've seen that. So let's welcome our newer ones a little bit more. I know that we kind of get in a zone where we really love on each other and stuff like that. And when I post somebody who's brand new, they might not get, versus the ones that are old schoolers like us. I would like to see let's make some new friends. Let's welcome them, and for the most part, we do. But it's kind of, I don't know what they see. I want them to feel welcome, and it's really kind of nice too when I do highlight a new one, because their reaction is so genuine. And you guys are kind of used to it. I no offense, you guys are kind of used to that. But when you see the new person going, oh my gosh, and they get all excited, I really want to relish in that. That's more, and just, let's really start having conversations and bring them into our community, because I don't want it closed. I want to grow this family. And I know it's been holidays and everybody's busy and everybody has a life, but maybe we take the time to comment on one person that we don't know too well, and just be like, hey, I really stopped and really looked at your work today, and I just wanted to say, hey, welcome, and things like that. Let's literally just start to dote on that. I personally like to see that a little bit more. Other than that, our group is awesome. I think that we really truly, and like what Cindy said, from They Call Me Pencil, she goes, I've never seen anything like it. What you're doing over there in this group and what you do for your group, she's like, it's unbelievable. Even in her group, you don't see the likes and the shares and stuff like we do here. So thank you guys for that, because that keeps the community amazing, and we just need some more of that. So if I could just challenge you guys to do anything, is find someone maybe you don't know too well and go make a new friend. That I like to see, and inspire each other.
So that was a little bit of an interview, you guys, and I know JJ probably already has that in the chats or whatever, but to give a little bit of insight on what I do and how much I love you guys, I think that interview was really great to share. Again, for you guys to see it, and all my new viewers, for you guys to see it too, because Frosty, you just did that interview so justice, and it goes on, the rest of the interview goes on to some of my art, but I kind of wanted to leave it there as well, because it leads right into what's going on for my show tomorrow. But yeah, I love that. I left it with that whole of, let's make some new friends. Let's, continue to comment and support each other, and be that community, show that love for one another. And if I can be the example of that, for what I do for you guys, like I said, even in the interview, he's going to get me all teared up, because that is something I love to celebrate. I love to celebrate you guys. And there's certain points in that interview that were so spot on. I really hate to go back and see that I only have so many likes, or I only have so many views, because when I have you guys on the show, I just want to shout you out to the world and show off the amazing abilities that God has given you guys to share that love and that wonderful service that I have for each and every one of you guys. I love it. When I say I love having you guys in my community, I love having you guys come to the show. I love to be a part of your world and have you be part of mine. There is no lie to that at all. And it started with this amazing Artist Corner and building. I'm even working on, taking this to another new social media platform so I can share you out with as many people. But there's so many times that people don't even know I have a show, and I've been doing this 3 years. I mean, I may not be old timer yet, but 3 years was a long time. And then to switch off and start doing more good news and watching viewers fall. Yeah, you guys can call me a prude, you can call me whatever, but yeah, very seldom am I going to have those kind of political shows per se. I'm all about love for each other, stress-free weekends, showing you guys how to have healthy lives, showing you how to cook better, inspiring you guys to be great, showing off your talents. This is what I love to do. And yeah, I don't, I am really, really grateful when you guys support me, subscribe, and rant, because this is basically my job here. And it's really nice to have my expenses paid for. So I can tell you how much I truly, truly appreciate that very much. And we need to get more people here because, again, when I have guests on, I really want to make sure that you guys are seen. It's not about me being the most famous person. It's about, somebody might come and want to buy your art. So let's make sure everybody gets to see it. Or when I say share out a show, it's because it's not necessarily sharing out the show for me per se. It's because I just had Frosty on, or I just had whoever on, right? And I want more people to see your work. And when I invite you at the end of the show, please join the group, whether you're an artist or not, because don't you want to bless your mornings with beauty? I know I do. And I am truly grateful for this amazing community and the love I have for it, the love I have for what I do, and the love I have for you guys is real. It is true. And I cannot tell you how much it means to me. And I thank you guys for being part of this amazing world that we're creating, right? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I was trying to throw in new comments with old comments. Right. Oh, thank you. Ken John. Nice to see you here. It's amazing if I didn't say that, but yes, right. He says, just do what you love and people will see it. Just build it and they will come. I think that. Thank you very much for that. That is very amazing. I'm glad that you guys found us, my new viewers. I'm so glad that you guys found us and are here now enjoying these wonderful shows with us, right? And we just continue. My husband says I'm more of like, the story of the tortoise and the hare. He's like, you're definitely the hare. You might take longer, but you're getting there and you end up winning the race. And so I'm like, okay. I love his outlook on that. It's just really awesome. So, and with the Artist Corner group and stuff like that, it's just awesome. And just continue to support each other. And like I said, Frosty, you did me justice with that interview. I mean, I might have to schedule another one because I just really love it. I never get to be on the other side. I mean, I've been on other podcasts, believe it or not. If you're watching another show, there's chances I've already been on that, especially with the school, promoting that school as well, with Hamilton Liberty Academy. So yeah, I'm a busy lady, but I love what I do. And I was raised and taught to serve one another. I always say my favorite scripture is love one another, but my mom would always add in and serve, love and serve one another. So I was raised always with that kind of mentality to serve one another, spotlight other people. It's kind of that, when you lift people up, you end up lifting yourself up with them. And so it's kind of that mentality. So with that being said, tomorrow, I don't normally go into, I do. I've been really kind of doing the good news, and I promise tomorrow's show we're going to end off with fun and stories of humanity. I'm always going to do that on Mondays, but I have a special guest on, and she's been on the show before, but tomorrow, Crusader of Truth is joining me. Because if you don't know this story, one way that we talk about what's going on right now is through artwork. I've been in many places around the world, and art can speak volumes. And when you literally have rescued children who've been in these kind of nightmares, maybe you don't understand it quite the way I've understand it. So when I say save the children, that is exactly what the show is going to be about tomorrow. I'm really happy that it's in the news one way or another, because this problem is very, very real, very, very global. And I'm excited to have my friend come back on to share our artwork together, mine and hers. Maybe it's not the stuff that you might not want to look at, but it's super important. It's super impactful. And it's just on fire right now in the media. Yeah, and not that I'm going to hit a whole lot of political posts. I don't necessarily like necessarily the way that, it always seems like they're playing the side of it, but the fact it's in the media, and that I'm grateful for, because this is something that I do not want to live in a world where this is acceptable. a big, huge hell no to Satan and this kind of way and evil. So tomorrow is a very important show. We're going to be celebrating some amazing pieces that might make you cry. I'll give you a forewarning, but they are absolutely powerful and very, very important in the time for us to be sharing this kind of stuff. If you guys see my social media, you might see me be posting these kind of things. It's because it is so popular, and I am a huge advocate of rescuing the 3 and continuing to do so and bringing advocacy to saving our children. So you guys, please join me tomorrow for Worldview. And that's going to be a really great show, and come give some support to my wonderful guest, Crusader of Truth. She's got an amazing story and a heart of gold and a love for our children like I do. So that will be Worldview tomorrow. And like I said, I promise that we will make sure you leave with, great stories of humanity and fun clips as well as we go on for that show tomorrow. So that's tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'll be putting out the promo right after this show. Yes. Thank you very much, Frosty. Service to others. That is what I try to do. I love that. That is what I try to do. And highlight others. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the wonderful cooking videos today. I hope you guys try that or some version of that. Let me know. And I truly hope that you guys enjoyed that interview. I know that was such a great interview, Frosty. You did so good. We'll have to plan another one. That was really awesome. And thank you guys so much for joining me here tonight. What a great night. I hope you had a beautiful Sunday. I hope we were able to reset yourselves into a where we feed your body and your soul. That's kind of the point of this show here too. So I hope you guys all felt that as much as I did. Huge love for everyone. The best thing that you guys can do is, helping me again, sharing out promos. JJ, Frosty, they all do these kind of promos, getting the awareness out so we can bring more people to the show. And I thought, wow, maybe I did. I can't find it. Okay. Well, I was going to say, you guys, I must have did. I'll have to make a new one. Okay. The greatest thing you could do is give me a follow. And I always share those promos out. Usually I have a little tag. I just have to tell you guys tonight. You can follow me on X at Lady Hamilton AR1. You can also follow me on X at Truth and Pilled and Gabbed at Lady Hamilton Art. You guys can also, we are streaming over there on YouTube too. And so right now on the weekends, I do that. I, did that a little bit more so that we could get the artists shown as many platforms as I possibly can. So that's another great way. Free to subscribe over there, free to like the show as well. All these kind of wonderful things. But let's give some love to this amazing group as well, please. I appreciate that very, very much, as they do so much for me as well. I love my moderators with all of my heart. Thank you guys so much. So let's give them some love for all that they do for me, starting with the amazing JJR SBL. Please give him a follow on Truth X Gabbed Pilled Getter, and he's got an amazing Rumble channel. Oh my gosh. I am so glad I just said that. JJ, it's Sunday. I'm like over here talking. We have got to definitely... I was not going to, I have another song that we're going to leave with, but oh my gosh. Okay. Now that we're saying this, I'll be back to giving this promotions. But speaking of Rumble channels, the best thing that we can do besides supporting each other and loving one another, serving one another, and besides our wonderful relationship to the Father and the Savior above, is every single day another free thing that we can do is put on the armor of God. And this video comes from the amazing JJR SVL. Thank you for letting us play it, my friend. Put on your armor and fight. Hear the cries of the Crusaders. Show them what we're made of.
God gave us light, but somebody hit the breaker. Lost in the dark till I met my maker. Fighting for peace while I'm here on God's acres. Love thy neighbor. I don't even hate haters. They say don't be violent in the face of my traitors. We can talk about it later. My Savior came in flipping tables. I'm a crusader. My heart is my anchor. The angels are crying and smearing their makeup. You dance with the devil. I march to their cadence. Feeding my kids with the fruits of my labor. I paid all my payments, I'm all out of patience, so save all your statements. You say from your basement, I stand on the pavement and fight for my people against you dictators. Hear the cries of the Crusaders. Show them what we're made right. Even if I stand alone, I'd rather be losing this battle than winning while fighting for something that I know is wrong. Known all along, I have a purpose. Gotta reach my people. Ain't no common ground on the battlefield that we're standing on. It's a war going on of good and evil. I'm a crusader. Screaming my prayers, I'm hoping that God hear my word and find favor. Speaking my truth and my tongue is a razor that open the wounds that the devil disabled. I'm standing in light, so the darkness around me, my heart keep on pounding, the trumpets are sounding, I'm not backing down and they counting me out, but I just keep on counting.
Hear the cries of the crusaders, show them what we're made of. I put my armor on, hear the cries of the crusaders, show them what we're made of. God is not giving us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and light and of a sound mind.
I love that video. Thank you so much, JJ. That just gets me all ramped up. I love it. I just love playing it on Sunday as we are facing our week ahead. All right, let's back to our amazing moderators, right? That are awesome. Let's give some amazing love to Nancy. She's over there hanging out on YouTube, checking it out and being the mod for us over there. You guys can follow her on Truth and on X. The amazing Frosty Pimp who just did that awesome video. You guys can please follow him on Truth and on X as well. And our beautiful Kim. Man, talk about, she is a sharing machine. So if you're watching this, Kim, we love you and thank you so much for all that you do. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be a great show. Kim has a real special relationship too, and introduced me to this amazing, amazing Artist Corner guest who hardly ever puts her stuff in the Artist Corner too, because it's just beautiful, but also striking. Let's use that word. And so tomorrow we are going to talk, share our art. So we're going to have a special art night in the very beginning and a conversation about saving our children. I love it. Speaking of saving our children, it is right now absolutely a storm in the media. And, to some extent, like I said, and I'll address this tomorrow, I don't necessarily agree with everybody and how they play the game. But the point is, it's still awakening people because this kind of evil needs to end. And I am just done with the attack on our children from all these different angles. So you guys come and help support our efforts, our amazing artwork as we have a worldview, save the children, and then finishing off with stories of some laughter and humanity. I promise it'll be a great show tomorrow at 7 p.m. tomorrow, but we are going to be leaving tonight with this great song from this amazing group. I love ROM, and this song is called Storm. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight, everyone. I truly appreciate all of you, my love for all of you guys, and thank you for being part of my world, my community, and being my friend. Everyone have a great night. I will see everybody tomorrow, right? Everyone take care and be blessed. My prayers are with you.
Satellite coming down in 3,